What's up, everybody? I'm here with another book review. This time I want to talk about a book from the Nightmare Room series. This is Dear Diary, I'm Dead. So first off, shout out to Monsterblood, who has told me multiple times this is probably one of his favorites. I haven't watched his ranking video because I want to read them all for myself and do my own ranking eventually, God willing. I have read some of these and didn't do reviews on them, so I do probably plan on going back and rereading a few of those. But yeah, this is like number 7 or 8, I think, that I've had on my playlist. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I did want to show off something that doesn't really have to do with Nightmare Room, but it's really the only time I'd probably have to show off these books. So I don't have diaries, which I guess you could consider these diaries. These are actually journals that I have. They're Goosebumps journals, and I have two of them. I think I have two of them. I may have one more. If I do, I don't remember. I remember seeing it online, and I can't remember if I bought it or not. But I have two for now. And another FYI, I am sick again, so if you hear me cough, don't be alarmed. Hopefully, I'm still good. But yeah, I have this one. This is How I Got My Shrunken Head journal. I found this online a few years ago. I think I paid like $7 or $8 for it. I just wanted it. There's nothing in it. It's just blank pages. So pretty cool stuff. There's the back of it. Pretty neat. And this other one is actually a little bit more nostalgic for me because I actually found this probably when I was like 15 or 16 years old. I was at a Goodwill, and don't ask me how I found this because this is just pure God showing me to find this kind of stuff. But yeah, this one here is just a regular Goosebumps journal. Um, Nothing crazy, but I remember pulling this out and just like looking around, and I never think to look for this kind of stuff now. But yeah, seeing that Goosebumps logo, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And the other one that I was mentioning was the Go Eat Worms one. I remember seeing it online a few years ago, and I think it was like for like $13, $14, and I don't remember if I bought it. I don't think I did. But yeah. So that was the only time I really had to show off those. I don't see any other reason to show off those kind of things. So yeah, back to the book. The story itself follows this kid named Alex. He at the beginning of the story, he's telling this story about him and his friends in the woods, and they run into basically werewolves. And I knew this book wasn't going to be about werewolves. So yeah, that was just like a short story type of chapter. We cut back there in class, and the teacher is like, okay, you need to learn about how to describe the characters more. How are the werewolves like had human heads and like wolf bodies, like because there's paw prints. She's basically critiquing him, and so it was very interesting because it was a diary kind of format, and she says that what you need to do is get your own diary and write entries in it and share it, I guess, at the end of the school year or something. And yeah, so this other girl named Tessa, she is in the class, and she asks, could she do that? And she says, of course, anybody's eligible to do this. So he goes out to the hallway, and the girl named Tessa says, pay up. And it turns out that he got a B plus on this writing exam thing. And he basically made a bet that he could get an A. And she says, or he says, okay, fine, or whatever. So his other friends come by, and he tells them to pay up, and she's like, well, what was that about? And he said that he made a bet that she would offer to do a writing thing, or to use a diary also. So yeah, basically Alex is making bets, and he can never seem to get a win over Tessa. Tessa always seems to find a way to win, and he really wants to win this contest at the end. He ends up making a bet with her that his diary entry is going to be way more exciting. All right, so they go home, and his parents are waiting for him at the house, and says, "Hey, we got something for you. It's upstairs in your room or whatever." And he goes upstairs, and there's this old oak, like a desk thing. I don't know if it's oak, but it's an old desk. And inside the desk, he pulls it out, and there's a diary in there. So he says, "Oh, well, isn't that a coincidence? I'll just start writing in this diary." So he gets ready to write, but he gets called down for dinner. He comes back, and there's already an entry on there. And it basically says that there is supposed to be a test over this chapter that they're supposed to be studying, and it's like ahead of the chapter that they're already looking at. So he makes a bet. He goes to school. He takes the test and he passes it. Everybody's like, "How did you know about this test?" And he's like, "I just know." Um, so this diary starts bringing up more things. Like there is a one about a teacher that isn't there, but he gives a test anyway. A substitute does. And then there's one that he actually loses, but he loses on purpose because he wants to make a bigger bet. Um, and that's like the basketball thing, where he bets that they'll go into overtime and win by like 2 points or something. But yeah, that's basically the first 50 pages of this book. Is him winning bets, and um, the diary is showing him things after dinner. Every night there's a diary entry already in there. So things start getting kind of crazy because the diary starts saying things that are kind of insane. One of them being that he gets hit by a car, and he tries to prevent himself from getting hit by a car, but that doesn't really seem to work. There's this kid named Billy, and Billy kind of pops up a few times in the story, and he loses his hat, he loses his cat, different things like that. I didn't mean to rhyme that good, but whatever. Um, so the first thing is the cat gets loose, and Alex goes to try to save it. He gets hit by a car. It's not like a crazy hit or anything like that. He survives. The next time he gets hit, or he falls, the next entry is him falling off a roof. And he's like, there's no way I'm going to get up on a roof. But he does end up climbing a gutter to save that little kid Billy's hat, I think. And he falls off the roof, lands on his teacher. He's fine. And then the final, oh, there's other things too. There is one more other thing. And the one that pops up that I thought was just insane was the it says that he steals a school bus, which is crazy. And he gets up there and he um, buckles himself down. He doesn't want to go and steal a school bus, of course, but he does. It's like the diary is like controlling him to do this thing. So we don't know if the diary is like evil or if it's just this. These are things that are supposed to be happening. And yeah, he ends up having dreams about it, or this flash of white, and um, it's like him. He sees this thing says "dead, dead, dead" over and over again in his diary. So yeah, and that's basically the gist of Dear Diary, I'm Dead, without giving a lot away. Yeah. So I'll say up front, right off the bat, this was not my favorite Nightmare Room book. I was excited to read this. I feel like not a lot happens until the later half. The later half is very interesting. And I am a little torn on this book because there is something I liked and didn't like about this, and that's the ending. The ending did have a type of ending that I typically do not like. And I didn't like it here, but the more I thought about it, it's a different type of ending like that. I know I'm kind of being vague, but it kind of made sense in a way. Because I think that the idea of this book flew over my head. I think that I kind of didn't understand what Stein was going for, but the more I think about it, I kind of think like, oh, okay, that's what happened. And I don't want to give too much away. I think you all should read this for yourselves and just kind of decide what you think. I didn't love it because this is a type of cop-out ending that I don't love, but again, it's really not. And that's mainly, I vaguely mentioned the dream sequence. That ties into it too, I think. So yeah, at the end of the day, Dear Diary, I'm Dead, I give a 3 out of 5 stars. Thought it was pretty good. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was amazing. There is some very good scenes in here. Yeah. I also want to point out, I don't think Stein did this intentionally, but the Tessa girl, she wants to join the band. I don't even think I mentioned, but these kids have a band, and Tessa wants to join in, and she's kind of like this, like, girl that just doesn't lose. She kind of reminds me of, like, Courtney from You Can't Scare Me, where, like, she is just always winning and stuff, but she wants to join the band, and this kid, Alex, says, no, I don't want you to join our band. He even mentions that they're not friends, and it kind of seems like it hurts her feelings, which I thought was, like, weird, because it was like, Alex is just kind of mean, and, yeah. I don't think Stein really intentionally did that. I'm not sure. This was a weird one for me. I do understand why this will be your favorite, if it is. I haven't seen Monsterblood's top uh, ranking of these, but I do understand why if this was one of his favorites. There are a few that I just like a little bit more, and again, this was kind of a different Nightmare Room book, but I do recommend it. I do recommend you guys going and reading it because, again, I do think that the little twist ending did make sense. So yeah, I think this is just more of a preference kind of thing. I've never really been into those books with like bad luck type stories, and I'm interested to see how Say Cheese and Die holds up because I remember loving that book as a kid, and it's basically the same thing. So yeah, 3 out of 5 stars for me, guys. Please let me know in the comments below. What did you think about Dear Diary, I'm Dead? What did you think about my other diaries in this book? Or in my Goosebumps collection. That's it for me, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.